Here we are on section 7.4. This is the day 3 assignment. Let's take a look at number 49. We have the square root of 5 minus the square root of 2 squared. That means we should rewrite it as two binomials. And then we should FOIL. First times first gives me the square root of 25. Outside times outside gives me the square root of 10 minus square root of 10. Inside times inside gives me the negative square root of 10. And last times last, negative times negative gives me positive square root of 4. Let's put the like terms together. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 4 is 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. Negative square root of 10, negative square root of 10, that makes two of them, so I got negative 2 square roots of 10. Number 50. It says 3x minus the square root of 2 times 3x minus the square root of 2. Again, since we have binomials, we're going to FOIL. 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. Outside times outside gives me negative 3x square root 2. Inside times inside gives me negative 3x square root 2. And last times last, negative times negative equals positive square root 4. Let's put some like terms together. Negative 3x square root 2, negative 3x square root 2 gives me negative 6x square root 2. Notice that the variable and radical parts do not change when we add or subtract. And the square root of 4 is 2. Let's jump to question 51. It says the square root of 3x times the quantity of the square root of 3 minus the square root of x. When I distribute this, I'm going to have the square root of 9x minus the square root of 3x squared. X times x is x squared. Bringing out the perfect squares, I'm going to have 3 square root x, because 9 comes out. On this one, the x comes out, and I get x square root 3. For number 52, I have the square root of 5y times the quantity of y plus the square root of 5. Same as the last one, I get 5y squared plus square root 25y. Bring out the perfect squares, I get y square root 5 plus 5 square root y. Number 53. We have 2 square root x minus 5 times the quantity of 3 square root x plus 1. If I do my FOILing here, 2 times 3 gives me 6. Square root x times square root x gives me square root x squared. Outside times outside gives me 2 square root x. Inside times inside, negative 5 times 3 gives me negative 15 square root x. And last times last gives me negative 5. If I take the square root of x squared, I get x, so 6x. 2 square root x and minus 5 square root x gives me negative 13 square root x, and then the minus 5 comes with. Number 54, we have 8 square root y plus z times the quantity of 4 square root y minus 1. When I FOIL this, I get 32 square root y squared, square root y times square root y, square root of y squared. Outside times outside, I get negative 8 square roots of y. Inside times inside, I get 4z. Notice that the things outside the radical go first, and then the radical goes after it. And then z times negative 1 gives me negative z. The only thing that we can simplify here is the square root of y squared, which is just y. We can't put these together because this one has a variable and this one does not. 56. We have the cube root of a plus 2 and the cube root of a plus 7. When I take the cube root of a times the cube root of a, I get the cube root of a squared. Outside times outside gives me 7 cube roots of a. Inside times inside gives me 2 cube roots of a. And last times last gives me 14. If I put my like, squared isn't enough to come out, so that just comes down. We have 7 cube roots of a and 2 cube roots of a. That's 9 cube roots of a. Number 57. I have 6 times the square root of 2 minus 2. 6 times the square root of 2 is 6 square roots of 2, and 6 times 2 is 12. Number 58. Square root of 5 times 6 minus the square root of 5. Square root of 5 times 6 is 6 square roots of 5, because that's a whole number, that's a radical, you don't multiply them. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is the square root of 25. We can simplify that to 5. 61. I have 2 square roots of 7 plus 3 square roots of 5 times the square root of 7 minus 2 square roots of 5. If I FOIL this out, I get 2 square roots of 49. Square root of 7 times square root of 7 is square root of 49. Outside times outside gives me negative 4 square root of 35. Inside times inside gives me 3 square roots of 35. And last times last gives me negative 6 square root of 25. We can simplify the square root of 49, which is 7. 2 times 7 is going to give me 14. Negative 4 and plus 3 gives me negative 1 square root of 35. We don't have to write the 1. You certainly can if you want to. And over here, square root of 25 is 5. Negative 6 times 5 gives me negative 30. Let's put our two like terms together here. Negative 30 and positive 14 gives me negative 16 minus the square root of 35. 62. 62 says the square root of 6 minus 4 square roots of 2 times 3 square roots of 6 plus the square root of 2. When I FOIL here, 3 square roots of 6 times the square root of 6 gives me 3 square roots of 36. Outside times outside gives me the square root of 12. Inside times inside gives me negative 12 square root of 12. And last times last gives me negative 4 square root of 4. A lot of simplifying here. We know that the square root of 36 is 6. I know that the square root of 4 is 2. And we would multiply 3 times 6 to get you 18. And negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. If I put my like terms together here, I have a plus square root of 12 and a minus 12 square roots of 12, which gives me negative 11 square roots of 12. Let's do one more step here. 18 and negative 18 gives me 10. And here, let's simplify this. 12 is 4 times 3. Notice I put the terms together before I did this, so I only had to do it once. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 times the negative 11 gives me negative 22 square roots of 3. Number 63. I have the square root of x minus y, square root of x plus y. When I start FOILing, I'm going to have square root of x squared plus x square root y square root of x, and minus y square root of x, and then minus y squared. Well, these two terms are opposites of each other, so they just go away. Square root of x is, or square root of x squared is just x, and bring that down. Thank you, and good luck.